If you're wondering why I've changed clothes, well, it's because I had a bit of a mental breakdown. Seeing everyone online with the 501st Battle Pack so early, knowing I have to be in the US and waiting for it has not been good for my psyche whatsoever.
Republic Studs has done it. He's gotten the 501st Battle Pack.
We got him. We got the LEGO Star Wars Summer 2020 501st Clone Legion set.
We finally got the 501st Battle Pack.
I got a 501st Battle Pack!
Then again, the next day I got a couple 501st.
And I found 3 Walmarts that have the 501st set available.
I haven't been getting much sleep, and life has just generally been rough. I'm trying to hang in there, but it's hard, man. Hello boyos, Rich Boy JR back with another video, and this is going to be another episode of Your Questions Answered. If you're not familiar with the series, this is a Q&A series that I do here on this channel, so if you want to see one of your questions answered, leave it in the comment section below. Make sure it's LEGO Star Wars or LEGO Star Wars related, and then check back next week to see if you made the cut. I want to give a very special thanks to Brick Pigeon for that pretty hilarious intro, and if you guys want to submit a custom intro, I definitely urge you to do so. You can send it to me on Instagram or wherever. You can reach me as an unlisted YouTube video. Just make it funny, make it literally anything pertinent to the channel, anything pertinent to LEGO, Star Wars, whatever, and you more than likely will see it at the beginning of one of these videos. First question comes from SW Productions 12. He says, what is your favorite out of the 3 main trooper designs? So I'm not entirely sure what you mean by 3 main trooper designs. There's 2 things that come to my mind. When I think main trooper designs, I think Stormtrooper, Snow Trooper, and Scout Trooper. Like, those are the 3 main troopers from the original trilogy, but you could also just mean like a stormtrooper, a First Order stormtrooper, as well as a clone trooper. So I guess I can give you the answer to both of those. If I had to choose between the beginning 3, the original trilogy group of troopers, I'd probably go with the just standard stormtrooper. I like the way they look. They look pretty cool. I think all of those designs are awesome, like just classic Star Wars designs, but the stormtrooper is probably going to be my favorite. If I'm choosing between the 3 eras, so like a stormtrooper, a clone trooper, or a First Order stormtrooper, I feel inclined to go with the First Order Stormtrooper. Like, I love the design of the Phase 1 clone. I think that would probably be my second, but I think if I'm comparing them all together, the First Order Stormtrooper looks really nice to me, so I might go with that. Especially the Episode 8 version. I definitely prefer that over the Episode 7 version. Next question comes from Diego Babadia. He says, did you ever consider buying Lego City or any other theme? So this is a question I get quite often because obviously I'm a pretty Lego Star Wars heavy channel, but insofar as Lego City, I don't know if anyone's ever asked me directly about Lego City. I buy some Lego City sets that I think are cool. I mentioned this, but it is one of my biggest Lego dreams to build an actual Lego City at some point, and a lot of the Lego City sets will help with that. I feel like whenever I do my city, it'll have my personal touch on it, and there'll be a lot of custom elements to it. However, there are a lot of things that you can get from those Lego City sets that'll be nice, be it the minifigures, be it some of the vehicles, be it stickers, just things like that that I kind of look at and I think I might want to use that in my city at some point, and then that's how I decide, okay, I'll go ahead and pick that up. Outside of Lego City, I buy pretty much all the modulars, so that's the one consistent thing that I'm buying outside of Lego Star Wars, and it really has to be something that I just really like. If it's not Star Wars or modulars for me to go ahead and pull the trigger on it. Like, I bought Pirates of Barracuda Bay, which I think is the most expensive / big Lego set that I've built that isn't a Star Wars set. Like, I have Assembly Square, that's probably the most expensive set I've bought, but I still haven't built that yet. But I love the Pirates of Barracuda Bay set. That was such a fun set. I think that set really encapsulates the essence of Lego. I think they knocked it out of the park completely with that set. But other than that, if I'm going to buy a set that's not a Star Wars set, it has to be something that really sticks out to me. Next question comes from Max Morizon. He says, question, for Christmas, I want to get a UCS set. What do you think is better between the Awing and the Cantina? I think the Cantina is a no-brainer here. When it comes to me, I love things that are scaled for minifigs. I love things that minifigs can interact with. It doesn't even necessarily have to be perfect minifig scale for me to prefer it over something that is absolutely not meant to be interacted with minifigures. So obviously the A-Wing is much bigger than a minifig scale A-Wing would be. However, the Cantina is far closer to what you would expect a minifig scale Cantina to look like. So I'm gonna go with the Cantina. I think you get such a nice diverse array of figures in that set. You get pretty much all the greatest hits of Mos Eisley, pretty much other than Luke's Land Speeder, which is also on shelf. So that's a good complementary set to get with that. And I just love the build of that set. Like, once I finish that thing up, populating it with all the figures, remembering all the fun scenes from the Cantina, even creating new memories in the Lego Cantina. I had so much fun with that set. I think probably for 2020, that's my favorite Lego set that has come out this year. The 501st Battle Pack is awesome. The AT-AT set is also awesome, but I think the Cantina is definitely my favorite set coming out of 2020. Next question comes from Darth Jar Jar. He says, would you be interested after Starkiller in not doing a large scale MOC for a while and instead focusing on several smaller projects? This is a good question. So when it comes to several smaller projects, I probably won't just stop doing large scale MOCs altogether for a while. Like, I'm not gonna just focus on things that I consider to be super small MOCs, but I do want to scale things down after Starkiller. This has been such a long process of a build, and while I've enjoyed most of it, this is something that I can't see myself just doing back to back to back to back. So my next MOC will definitely be something that is much smaller than Starkiller. I think scale-wise, it'll be closer to what we got for Vardos, which still wasn't a small MOC at all. That would still be considered a very large-scale MOC for most people. But for me, that's going to be my goal for my next MOC, because I want to do something that I can get done in a reasonable amount of time. What this means for me as a builder is I can't slack when it comes to the details. Like, I think I already try not to do that, right? Like, I try my best to put whatever amount of details I can in all my MOCs, but because my MOC after Starkiller is probably going to be something that's not nearly as big, I think it gives me a unique opportunity to try some really cool, creative, unique things insofar as putting details into what most people would consider to be a pretty big MOC. So that's going to be what I go for. I know a lot of people want to see me build big. I want to see me build big. But if I'm not going to build huge, I definitely want to make up for that with detail, with exciting build techniques. So that's going to be my goal for my MOC after Starkiller. Next question comes from Jacob DeVore. He says, I just recently broke my arm. I'm sorry to hear that, man. That sucks. So I was wondering if you have ever broken / fractured a bone before. I fortunately have not. I've never broken a single thing. I wasn't a very active child, so I mean, I didn't have many opportunities to do so, but in my life, I've been very fortunate to avoid breaking anything. I've actually never been in an emergency room. I've never been in an ambulance. I've never been like in a hospital bed. I was super fortunate in that regard. Just keep drinking your milk and eating your vitamins and saying your prayers, guys. And then you can be like old rich boy. Next question comes from Kevin Gormley. He says, do you think a Lego employee has ever taken inspiration from your Lego Star Wars ideas? This is a great question. I want to say probably not. However, I think it's very, very interesting how the release of the Inferno Squad Battle Pack came out pretty much in perfect timing for my Vardos MOC. I wouldn't like to say that I influenced that set, because obviously I didn't. I started building Vardos probably after that set was done being produced. But I do find it kind of interesting that Lego decided to put that out right around when I was building my MOC. It seems to me like they were trying to get a little clout off of the old Rich Boy J Vardos MOC. Next question comes from Darth Revan. Hi, Darth Revan. Have you been playing Star Wars Squadrons? If so, what do you think about it? If not, why not, or why might you get it? So I did get Squadrons. I got it pretty much day one, and I've played the game twice, and I have to say it's just not for me. Squadrons is not a game that I've had very much fun with. I know a lot of people were really looking forward to it, and I kind of was to an extent, but having played it, like, I got my fix. Like, once I played the first mission, I was like, okay, like, that's pretty much all I want from this game. I honestly kind of regret getting it. Like, I would have preferred to have just saved my $40 and spent that on literally anything else. But, I mean, I don't know. Like, I think it's really disappointing the state we are in when it comes to Star Wars video games. And I talked about this a little bit on stream earlier today, but I think Star Wars Squadrons is fine. Like, it's fine for them to do a game like that. However, when it's the only Star Wars game coming out for the year, I think that puts a lot of pressure on it to basically, you know, be a good enough Star Wars game, the one Star Wars game that Star Wars fans are getting for the year. And in that regard, I think it's absolutely a letdown, because it's so niche. It's so catering to one very specific aspect of Star Wars. And that, for me as a Star Wars fan, is not fulfilling. I don't want to trash it too much, because I don't think it's a bad game at all. I just think it's very unfortunate that we get so few Star Wars games now that, you know, the one we get of the year, you know, has all this pressure put on it, all these expectations put on it. And of course it can't live up to it. But if this was like one Star Wars game we were getting in the midst of like 3 or 4 Star Wars games this year, I wouldn't even think about it twice. I probably wouldn't even buy it. But as a Star Wars fan, I'm like, okay, like let me check out the Star Wars game that's coming out this year. And it really just didn't impress me at all. It wasn't something that I find myself enjoying. So I don't know, in the comment section, guys, let me know, how do you feel about Squadrons? Are you super into it? Was it exciting? Is it something you're even still playing up until this point? I'd say the people in my close friend circle, even the ones who really did like the game up front, they've pretty quickly just, you know, gotten tired of the game, which is very unfortunate. Like, Battlefront 2 was so fun for me. I feel like the campaign was very fulfilling. And I feel like since then, I have not gotten that same experience. So that kind of sucks. Long story short, can we please start getting more Star Wars games? Like, EA having the exclusive license to Star Wars games is literally the worst possible thing that could have happened for Star Wars video games. Last question comes from Techno Unit. He says, if you were ever on LEGO Masters, how would you adjust to building things that are not Star Wars? You are mainly a Star Wars builder, so you would think it would be difficult to adjust to different styles and techniques that aren't used in Star Wars. This is something that I really have thought about. You know, if I was really pressed to build something that wasn't Star Wars, could I live up to the task? I'd like to think that I could, right? Good techniques in LEGO pretty much transcend themes. Certain things that I do in Star Wars, and I think absolutely can apply to anything, building snot, figuring out certain angles, just having a good eye for which shapes are best replicated with which Lego pieces. Like, those are skills you can apply across the board to whatever you're building. Obviously, I'm often building a lot of the same types of things, be it spaceships, similar types of architecture. But Star Wars is so nice and diverse that I don't really feel super limited by that, because you do have the times when you're not just building the same types of things. I'd say with the 3 big MOCs that I built so far, or 4 technically now, Crate, Scarab, Vardos, and Starkiller. Like, all of those each had very unique building challenges and techniques that I had to implement into those builds in order to achieve what I wanted to have as the final product. And also the many vehicles that I built, I feel gives me a very good understanding of how to achieve certain building techniques in Lego. So I think that I could certainly be a more well-rounded builder if I did venture outside of Star Wars more often, but I think that if I really put my mind to it, I could probably figure those things out the same way that I figure out most things that I'm trying to build in Star Wars. So hopefully that answers your question very well. I hope you guys enjoyed checking out this video today. That's going to finish things up. Like I said earlier, if you want to see one of your questions answered, leave it in the comment section below. Make sure it's Lego Star Wars or Lego Star Wars related, and then check back next week to see if you made the cut. Also, intros. Send me those intros. But that's going to end the video. If you guys like what I do, go ahead, support the video by hitting the like button, support the channel by smashing that subscribe button, and I'll be back again very soon.